Hello and welcome to the Cabinet of Creations, where you will find horror, beauty and the perfectly imperfect. Hello and welcome. Come shopping with me into my local haberdashery little shop where there's loads of materials in fat quarters, so it's great. I don't have to buy like meters and meters just to do a little doll. And here's some of the material that I got from the shops. They're lovely colour combination. Quick little note here, I decided to change the socks into glittery leg warmers, so I use this brand new glittery sock. I don't really have patterns as yet. I sort of trace around the doll and make it a little bit bigger, and then it's probably a little bit of a haphazard way of doing it, but it seems to work so far for me, and it makes things even more unique, I guess, if everything's not the same. So yeah, that's how I make her clothes, including the shirts, tights, leg warmers, any socks, shorts, you name it. It's kind of like all winged. Here she is, lovingly modelling the sleeve, and then I decided to give her extra big cuffs, which looks really great, I think. Right, now time for removing the factory makeup with 100% acetone. Peekaboo! Now I know most doll artists go in with buffers, but I like to use ultrafine sandpaper. I find it doesn't scratch. If it does for you, then obviously perhaps move on to something a bit softer like buffers, like nail buffers. Because I'm changing the colour of this doll, I spray a few layers of Mr. Super Clear with both the arms bent and straight, and the leg joints as well, and every other joint. Then I go in with a light colour pastel. I do about 4 layers of this, I think, 3 or 4 layers, it'll tell you in a minute on the top left. And I decided it wasn't going quick enough, so I went in with 1 shade darker, and that pretty much done it on the final layer. Obviously in between, spray with Mr. Super Clear, and I sprayed a couple of coats at the end as well, just to really help seal it in, because I didn't really want too much chipping off with the joints bending. I leave this doll poseable, unlike most of my other ones that I've created in the past. So here's a list of what I did. You can always pause it here if you want to read it a bit closer. And here we go, on the left is before, on the right I've done the legs. I do go in and do the rest of her body as well. Right, shoes. Because these shoes show toes, and I didn't know how I wanted to dress her maybe in the future, I decided to cover it up so you can't really see her feet and socks or anything with this. I covered it with Warbler, which if you heat with a hairdryer it goes soft and pliable, you can mould it into a shape, then as it cools down it goes harder again. You can reheat it and keep doing it until you get the shape that you want. sort of prettied up the horses at the back with some nice glittery red eyeballs. Going with watered down paint to, I guess, give my favourite aged look, worn look, experienced look. And there we go. I think you'll all agree mostly on the left is better with the wash. It really shows up the detail. Right, her hair. I'm using my absolute favourite chunky wool. Oh, I wish it could be done that quick. You get the strands and just tease them apart. And I stick on with tacky glue. There we go. Somebody call Vogue. Now back to the face up. There she is, all wrapped up to protect her paint from the hard desk. I dab on with a sponge the acrylic matte paint. I just find that it's more like powder, I guess. I didn't want to use my pan pastels because it does take a while with the white, and literally look at this, one coat done. It's not being idle, it's being productive. And I was going in with Derwent Inktense watercolour pencils for her massive gigantic eyes compared to the little normal monster dolls that I do. I did actually find doing the giant 17-inch Monster High doll a bit easier, I guess, than the smaller ones. One, you can get far more detail, especially on the eyes, or you can see it better, should I say, as well. And also when sewing the clothes, yes, it takes longer because it's like 3 or 4 times bigger, but it's not as fiddly. So it's kind of got its pros and cons, I guess, but I did really enjoy doing this big doll, and I definitely want to do some other of the larger ones at some point. I've decided that I absolutely love this doll too much that I'm going to keep her as like the channel mascot and do maybe different outfits for Christmas, or, you know, I don't know, things like that, just to keep it a bit varied. I think going around the iris with the darker colour just really helps things pop. I didn't actually like the eyes, but then as soon as I started doing this, I mean, look at the difference. It's like it's 3D. So I didn't love it a second ago, and now I do. Don't forget I have things for sale in my Etsy shop, so pop over to Cabinet of Creations UK and have a gander. If you favour the shop, then anything new I add in, not just dolls, you'll be able to see it first, so brill, head on over. If you like doing a bit of adult colouring as well, I've also got some drawings I did of my dolls, but mostly horror scenes as well, like zombies and evil clowns and things like that. So head on over to Cabinet of Creations UK in my Etsy shop and you can buy them and download them and print them and colour them in and relax and enjoy as much as you can when doing gore and blood.